Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play LOTRO with me, Balthelion, and also Halafor.
Although I'm totally not there at the moment, I am just an ethereal voice.
You might confuse people because on my screen at the moment there's just me and my ghost archer. That's not you, you're not dead. Not yet. You might be later in this video. So today we're going to start the Misty Mountains region. I'm on my captain, who is Freywin, who you can see there, with a funky halberd. Also my pet, Oathbaker Archer, who's called Archie, because I couldn't think of anything else. I literally just got him. But yeah, I don't think the people on the RP server would be happy with me naming him Skeletor, like Balthelion's Archer back in the day. So Archie is short for Archibald, should be relatively inoffensive. And we are currently in Rivendell, if you can tell by all the scenery and the music. So
one of us is, at least.
I don't know where the hell you are, but that's one of the advantages of the captain, because captains get a rallying horn, and they can summon members of their fellowship or their raid to their side. So I can just select you and say, get your arse over here. I'll blow my horn. And in chat, Kiri has heard your call, so hopefully you should appear
After a ridiculously long induction.
Or, yeah, the stupid arse induction where you hold your hand up and it's like you're scratching a giant's testicles. I don't know where they got that animation from, but
yeah. The only one that's worse is the goddamn warning emote on some quests where it's just like mourn the loss of this person that you met 5 minutes ago, and literally like you
press F to mourn.
The ground for the first 2 seconds, and then you're just like, right, I'm a done man.
There we go. So there's your runekeeper, in a nice little funky dress there. Since runekeepers are light armoured, so it's kind of appropriate.
That bag is ugly though. It's ruining the cosmetic.
It is, yeah. It's a big bag. I mean, that's probably like rip your skirt or something. Them rocks in there.
There we go. That's better.
Okay, so we've got a couple of quests in Rivendell. I think this might be the only one, to be honest. So this is what we're going to pick up first. So,
well, at the very least, Elrond will give us some later on.
Well, I think Elrond has the chapter 5, the book 5 epic storyline, but you only get that if you did book 4 in the Troll Shores, which we haven't done.
Correct, yeah.
And we couldn't be asked to do, so we're kind of skipping that, so you guys can work that one out on your own.
Beyond that, he has things like certain quests like the Lost Scout, which vectors you to a Goblin Town.
Yeah. Which is the very, very end of the Misty Mountains, but we will be going there and seeing some funky stuff. So we'll just take this quest. We have to go speak to Gloin in the Misty Mountains. You grab that one?
Yeah, I've got it. Let's ride up, I guess.
So, of course, Gloin is Gimli's dad from the lore. He does appear in the movies as well. As he keeps saying over and over, yeah. And Gloin was also a member of the party that was in the Hobbit as well, so he does get a bit of featuring in both storylines.
He's the miser who won't shell out the gold on the boat until until he sees the mountain.
Yeah.
In the movies, and then it's like, take it all.
So we have to go up and meet him. He's got a little camp going just inside the Misty Mountains, because he came to the Council of Elrond. He was taking part in that, and then after that he's just been sort of loitering around.
It's more like he's conveniently there more than anything else. Because initially he shows up at Rivendell as like an ambassador with Gimli, where basically have a chat about what's been going on in the Eastern Lands. And then at the same time, it's kind of just like, oh, we're having this important meeting. Do you want to stay? And they're just like, yeah, all right.
So yeah, he's just kind of like saying what the hell's going on up in the Misties at the moment. Not sure if he's meant to be on his way home or whether he's just doing Elrond a favour. But
he's doing Elrond a favour because he's heard of worrying shit happening up here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not as worrying as the shit that's going down in Moria. But
well, but no one knows about Moria apparently.
Yeah. Well, the Council of Elrond should have.
Should have, however.
Have you just cheated your way up here?
No.
I've just noticed your green arrows up here. I'm spending all this time, finding stuff to talk about as we wander up the hill.
I've just gone up there. Yeah, I know.
There we go. So the Misty Mountains. So this is what the map looks like, and it's kind of divided, strictly speaking, into east and west. So on the western side, which is like the west bit and the central bit, there's giants. loads of like bears and stuff, some evil dwarves, some evil men up in the northern parts. The Helligod raids up in the very northernmost area, and then on the eastern side where you got the North High Pass and the South High Pass. Again, there's just more giants, some worms, and loads of goblins and Goblin Town, which is could be our ultimate destination. And wargs as well, yeah.
And the bottom right corner has Garadian in it as well, those beloved people from Evendim again.
Okay, have you got a quest Rampaging Beasts pop up?
Nope, because it's a pop-up, and I've
Well,
literally...
you need to head in my general direction.
I need to put my head out of the place. See, the problem with it... Well, not the problem, but with the rework of and then Unwitting Scavenge just pops as well. With the rework of the Misty Mountains region, you went from having essentially the quests being located around Gloin and his camp to suddenly like being more open tapped. So if you actually go into Gloin's camp, which is where I just was, you can hand in the quest to Gloin. The quest to just go talk to him and that, but you'll actually then find that him and his camp actually have no other quests to give you at the time being. Now, not necessarily a problem, because if you do it like Bal did by coming up into the region properly, you would have got these like quests randomly popping up for you. But if you did what I did, which was to magic your way there, then it's like odd because there's no quests.
Okay, so yeah, we've got two quests then. One to kill snow beasts, who are these like yeti creatures, which I don't think.
Well,
we haven't seen snow beasts. We had like a mountain kind of variant, didn't we, in Angmar? And I think that's all we've seen of them.
They were called Pico.
Actually, no, yeah, sorry, yeah, we had the Picos.
Which is probably, which if we go back to the Speaking Soft video, it's probably something like Snow Beast.
Yes.
Or was it Troll? I think it was Troll.
I think it is just the word troll, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, I think it was something like Troll, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have the old classic thing of fighting over the ore nodes then.
If you want one of them, I'll take the other. If you want ore, I'll take wood. If you want wood, I'll take ore.
I'm probably quite easy either way. I don't really mind too much.
I don't really care either, to be frank.
I prefer ore, but then I'm guessing you probably would as well. So.
No, take the ore. I don't need it. Right. I'll just harvest the wood, like I say.
Okay, and the other quest we haven't got at the moment, which I should probably speak to Gloin as well, because he's probably going to give me a follow up.
He doesn't.
It's literally just a vector.
Literally, he has no quests until his first set of hand-ins. I said it's a bit odd because you're used to getting quests off like NPCs in camps, but literally the first set of quests in the Misties now is purely based off this, yeah?
Yeah.
We've got two fucking little lightning bolts like floating around the head from like lightning buffs or something.
I like how, like, because the snow is so bright and reflective, my ghost is just like a shimmering orb. You can't make out any features on him at all. I don't know how you're doing for the relic fragments. I've got 0 at the moment.
I've got 1.
There we go. That's my first one.
That epic conclusion was a rather unselling conclusion.
It's a rather unepic conclusion.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually need Lynxes, but I'm killing him anyway.
That's
it. My Archer Herald is currently shanking him in the back with a knife because.
I knew there was something I needed to do whilst I was down in Rivendell.
What have you forgot?
I should have had a chat with Elrond to teach me the ways of Runekeeper.
You probably should do that before we meet some goblins, actually. So.
Yeah.
We're going to get sent down there anyway when we hand in this scavenger's quest, so it's not a huge deal.
Yeah. 3 out of 4.
Yep, same here.
I always find the first bit of this area to be a little bit bland in terms of.
I think it's been more bland actually since they did the revamp.
Yeah, it's like literally just go around and kill mobs and hope they drop what you need. That's pretty much all it is. Yeah, it does feel more bland.
Because at least, yeah, before when it's more focused around Gloin and his mates give you quests and that. I don't know, it just seems a bit weaker actually, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah. You had like at least interaction with the world and the NPCs in it.
Which is pretty rare because normally when they do a revamp it kind of makes it a bit better in that regard. But in terms of spacing out the quests and that, it's probably a bit better on the whole.
Well, it is since to set up like the little mini camps around the world, around the map, as opposed to like literally for the first half of the the area, the western region, it all came from Gloin, and you had to like frequently run back to Gloin's camp and that. And then there was like essentially 2 pockets, wasn't there, for the Eastern Hand region.
Yeah. Okay, I've got all 4 of mine, so I just need 6 more hill beasts.
Yes.
Okay,
there's plenty of them further to the north. I'm just tracking this Leberthon.
Okay, so the lynx they aren't aggressive. They just threaten to attack, so we can ignore those for the most part. That's a hill beast.
Yeah. This one's a snow beast, not a hill beast.
Whatever. There's a beast in the hills. The hills just happen to be snowy, so
the hills just happen to be
they've evolved white fur to camouflage themselves over the many years.
Because now bloody camouflage exists. Not camouflage. Evolution exists in Lord of the Rings now, does it?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, how is the snow lurker at all like evolved to cope in its environment then?
It's got snow on it.
It
can withstand the cold. It's not a deciduous tree creature. It's like a all year round green object.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's like like spruce trees and that.
You should have like gone on
Conifers.
something about. You should have gone on something about like the legs being like so it didn't get like tall legs so it didn't get stuck in snowdrift or something like.
Yeah, but they've all got long legs.
Well, yeah, the bog lurkers do to avoid getting bogged down in the swamps.
There you go. There's an evil man over there.
A Concord Bloodsworn or something, which
we will need to kill at some point.
Yeah.
For some reason.
They never used to, but I think they count now as hillmen as well. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
I believe so. They are technically hillmen. I'm pretty sure they always used to count.
They didn't used to count.
Are you sure?
Otherwise, well, people would have farmed there for their deeds as opposed their manslaying deeds as opposed to the Estel Din camp. Because that way you'd have at least got page drops or high quality loot. Oh look, there's a what you call it up here because these treasure caches are in this region as well, and you can't use them until you're level 90. They're just there to rub it in.
Yeah, up in that corner there.
They're annoying in that respect.
That is annoying, yeah.
I know that they're obviously added along with like the roving threats, which again are in this area, so we're going to have to watch out for some like level 100 mobs that want to kill us on sight.
Yeah. Anything with a green glow around their head is bad news, pretty much.
But, there's no reason why the treasure chests themselves couldn't really have been allowed to be used. But the biggest thing is that they've had to have obviously modified the drops to drop level appropriate stuff as opposed to the level like 95 to 100 rubbish that they drop anyway. Yeah. I mean, literally, they're only they're only like base quality stuff like green, aren't they?
Pretty much.
Really poor quality.
Okay, I'm heading back to Gloin's camp then. And then I think the next thing is we need to go to some guy in Rivendell, so you might as well grab that stuff of Elrond.
Yeah, go have a chat with Elrond about how to be a runekeeper.
Because otherwise you're going to miss out on some of that stuff. But the good thing about the Mist is with your level 39 legendary books is that goblins, I think snow beasts as well, don't quote me on that, the hillmen up here, a couple of orcs up here, they will all drop the legendary pages for those traits. And as with previous regions, again, that the first 4 pages drop in Angmar, Eregion and Moria, and then the bottom 4 pages on each deed drop in the Misty Mountains, Forakel or Moria.
I mean, it's more or less the same with all of the like level 40 plus regions. A lot of them have a fair few number of humanoid mobs in there that will give you page drops. I mean, the one that probably has the least humanoid mobs is probably Forakel. Angmar has plenty of like humanoid
Angmar, the amount of stuff you end up killing in Angmar is just crazy. So,
I mean, hell, you get most of your pages just off doing the Randuith, the first little bit of Angmar, let alone anything else. Misties, yeah, there's plenty of goblins, but they don't really show up until the second half of it. And what else have you got? Well, Eregion is purely murdering half-orcs for a living, with some Dunlendings in there, so if you haven't got your pages by then, Eregion gets you them, yeah?
Yeah, you're normally there. I mean, worst case, you can just go into Moria and you'll slowly get the last few. I mean, it's less important these days,
Yeah,
given that you
just
only
gives
get
you
a
trait
class
point.
point out of it, whereas back in the day when it actually used to give you a skill, and like, a really important skill at that.
Shing shing.
Yeah, Ching Shing for champs, your favourite.
Well, everyone's favourite.
But sometimes some of them were a bit underwhelming, but generally they're quite good ones. You wanted to get those as quickly as possible because they were like key facets of your character and your playable class.
Yeah. The problem with the captain's one is all the captain's ones were good, yet they couldn't run any of them because they were too busy locked into their other ones.
Yeah, they were all pretty decent.
But literally, as a captain, you had to run Oathbreakers actually was one of them, wasn't it? Was one of the ones out of the book. Idorn came out of the level 50 class.
Did you talk to the NPC before you went to Elrond?
No.
Because he's going to send you to Elrond.
There, isn't he?
Yeah. Lol. Okay, well, I'm on the way to Elrond anyway.
I'll wander back.
I'm actually very close to dinging 41, so it's going to be quite nice.
And 20% of the bar left.
So to give an overview then of the captain and what it's kind of about, it's a heavy armour class. It's capable of doing some healing. It does quite a lot of buffing of its allies. Mediocre kind of DPS, and that's not really meant to be a DPS in character, but it does have DPS trait lines, as all classes do these days.
It always did.
It always did, but it was never like top tier or anything like that.
No.
But the captain's kind of envisioned to be like a jack of all trades, master of none. It can do all roles, but not necessarily as good as a class that's meant to like main prioritise that role.
Yeah, essentially it heals, it damages, it tanks.
Yeah, it can tank, not as well as a proper tank. It can heal, not as well as a proper healer, but it can DPS not as well.
Actually,
These days it's a bit better.
In current iterations, it's one of the better tanks.
Well, that's because they broke tanking ever since.
Well, but if you look at what the captains get out of their tank line, plus 20% extra HP. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll now have like a 50k morale captain at the cap. Yeah.
Mm.
You know, like they get like the 50% mits 60% mits granted of a heavy, plus additional mits based off their tank line. They can block using a two-hander. They can, they get all sorts of other ridiculous buffs from like their trait lines and whatever. They get defensive strike, which when in the yellow tank line, which gives them another 4k armor, just in case you weren't overcapping your Fizzmit enough, yeah. And various other like hilarious perks. They also get I can't think of the name of it, but they get a skill in the tank line where essentially it's available every 15 seconds. I want to say they basically call out, and everyone in their like fellowship party, quote unquote, responds, and they gain an amount of HP based on number of allies in like earshot. And it counts for like your entire fellowship. So basically, like it's a case of like call out, punch the air, and anyone in range kind of does the same thing in response. It's kind of like being force taunted to cheer or whatever. Yeah,
but it's kind of often compared to the Paladin in World of Warcraft. I've never played the game, so I can't really comment. But I think that's another one that's kind of meant to be like it's kind of like jack of all trades and that. So.
Well, you look at what captains do compared to your archetypal D&D Paladin. D&D Paladins are kind of like a heavy armoured tanker kind of class with like essentially like light magic, white magic in the form of protection or healing abilities, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You look at what a captain does, heavy armoured tanker class that's a buffer inspiring his allies with a side portion of like healing and protection, yeah?
Yeah.
It does kind of fit the same stereotype of of an archetypal paladin.